Hello, I am John Binnie, and welcome along to my monthly review. I'm now a professional psychic and spiritual mentor, and I do a monthly review of my life and my business, my dream life. And I like to reflect, partly for personal reasons, on my journey, and then also to share with you and help create a monthly vlog of my journey. So, to recap on my journey, if you don't know me, hi, I'm John, and I live in Scotland. I've just under a year ago, I left a 26-year career in software engineering and artificial intelligence, and the last 8 years of which I was a senior software manager at Amazon corporate here in Edinburgh, Scotland, and I was busy developing recruitment systems using traditional software and also artificial intelligence. And in 2017, I had gone through my first big awakening in this life, and I began meditating each day and really opening up my heart to all aspects of me, not just my mind and the computer scientist aspect of me and the manager, but also opening up to meditation, creativity, writing songs each day. And I also began talking to my spirit guides in meditation. And also, if we fast forward to now, in May 30th, 2024, so just 11 months ago, I left my corporate career and I became full time, doing quantum psychic healing sessions for people around the world. I run training courses. I also qualified as a mindfulness meditation teacher, clinical reflexologist, Swedish massage, and Indian head massage, the last two massage. I'm just coming close to the completion of those qualifications. So it's definitely been a big change in my life. And some of the big reasons about why I wanted to change my life so dramatically was because of this. I want to spend more time in my life. I'm 48. I'm married with, we have two children, and Patch, you might see our dog wandering around the garden at some point, a little black and white Papillon. And what's really wonderful is that I wanted to open up my heart to be able to step into the whole me, all aspects of me, physical, metaphysical, and spend more time each day doing the things I love. And that includes spending more time in the sunshine with more freedom, fun, and flow in my life. Also, and I say this each month, also on my journey, I developed, and this was just at the end of 2023, 2023 and into 2024, I wrote down the mission for this dream life. And so the primary mission is to help people raise their vibrations around the planet, and then also to help them, support them through their awakening journeys, and to help rebalance the constant power struggle through this universe of darkness and light to bring greater harmony. And it's got off to a great start. And I'm delighted to say the first 11 months have just been so phenomenal. And thank you, you know who you are. You are watching this video and supporting me, so thank you. Please do comment, ask questions, engage with my journey and myself. Feel free to like and also to subscribe and share all the good things. And perhaps you know someone that would resonate with my journey, or they're thinking of making a big career change, and perhaps you'd like to connect them with me. Okay, so let's talk about April in a bit more detail. So first of all, on my progress um, to connecting with more people, um, and so connecting with them to help raise the vibrations, help support them through their awakening journeys. There was around 58 new orders for my various different services across free meditations, in-person sessions, and my online sessions. And that's been really lovely to receive, so thank you so much. The number is not super helpful to translate to any finances because some of those services are free, but just 58 new customers feels really lovely. So thank you for joining me in April. Um, and then some other really fascinating things have been happening in April, which is it takes a lot of words to describe feelings, right? Just let this train pass for a second. And apologies for any extra noise from me or the train. So yeah, April was originally going to be a month where I took more time off, and this was in part because we were going to the original plan as a family was to go away on holiday. However, the way things worked out, my wife and daughter went away to Spain for 5 days, and they had an amazing time. I'm so glad they did. It was just so lovely to see them in such joy, and I know they're busy planning their next trip. I stayed with Patch, my dog. Oh, he's just behind me. Um, and then I was helping my son with his studies. And what was really lovely during April was to feel into the first time, maybe ever, like true flexibility. And so I had, the free will choice, for example, to take on more work or not, to take on more sessions or not, and that felt lovely. I took on a few more, but I also created more space. So this was, I feel like, the beginning of what is now a continuous shift in the way that I work. So I was doing from the second half of November through to end of March, I was doing between 3 and 4 sessions a day, with about one or two on a Friday and then one or two on a Sunday night. It's a lot, right? And running training courses, doing in-person sessions, as well as being a student of Swedish and Indian head massage. So that it's a lot for anyone, right? As well as all the many videos and podcasts and live streams that I do. So I knew that I wanted to. I'd already made the decision. In fact, I made the decision back in November, but I'd been living through working through a backlog, if you like, of bookings. And the good news is that April already has brought more flexibility in my schedule, more time for receiving. It's like I'm receiving the sun on the back of my head, um, and then also receiving more time with my family. Just yesterday, I was I had a face-to-face session in the morning, and then in the afternoon, one session and a membership group session as well. And in between, I spent hours, 4 or 5 hours, sat with my wife and daughter watching TV and just relaxing and taking naps as well in between. And it was just real lovely to spend that time together with no specific, agenda or goal, just being together and spending time together, which I really love. I also made a change. So the place that I've been renting since I've been renting a room every Tuesday since the beginning of October. Is that right? October, November, December, January, February, March. Yeah, beginning of October. And that was at Naked Revive in Haddington. So it's about 25 minutes drive from where I am. And the reason I brought that regular booking to an end, there goes a train. I live right next to the main line to London, which is surprising. There's not that many trains Edinburgh to London. Um, but yeah, I felt like I really love the work, and I will still continue doing in-person sessions, both here at my home, and then also ad hoc bookings at Naked Revive in Haddington. Um, and so what I really wanted to do was just bring greater flexibility, and I found it just too tiring to regularly both book a Tuesday and then fill it, which latterly has not been a problem. I've had plenty of bookings, which has been so lovely. Thank you. And it takes months. It takes, if anyone's thinking of starting an in-person massage, reflexology, hypnosis, breath work, yoga, whatever you're thinking of doing, lightly within about 6 months, you'll start to get, word of mouth, which is really important, um, and engagement with others. Just being my mind and heart just being distracted by a beautiful butterfly. So yeah, that's I feel a bit sad as that stage, that phase comes to an end. But I'm busy looking into dates in May for running an event, like a psychic event at Naked Revive in May. So that'll be a lot of fun too. There's been people asking for that. Well, um, in the continued shift of work-life balance, there's also been a bit more adventures. So I have been away camping in Dundee overnight. It's about 2 hours drive, and spending time learning more about and practicing Indian head massage, which I travel out to there, and then I travel out to Edinburgh doing Swedish massage. And I just completed the final assessment for Indian head massage with great results, and I just need to complete a couple of case studies to qualify. And then it's quite similar for Swedish massage. One practical assessment at the end of the month, end of May, and then also another case study to write up in between. But yeah, really enjoying those, and really glad I went for the qualifications. I just really enjoy that feeling when I'm doing it, and it seems so important. Um, just like the mindful leadership podcast I was recording today, it's so important that if it feels right, if it feels good in your heart, then do it. And I think that's what um, some of the challenges I had with the Naked Revive schedule that I was booking myself on, um, was that it was amazing and really enjoyed it, but it was too much workload. Another big thing that happened this month was I had a really beautiful reading from um, a channeled message from my dear friend Sarah, who is known as UFO Girly, and in a podcast we did together, she was explaining that I really need to. Look, she had a message for me, and she asked if I share it privately or I prefer it to be public, and I said I really prefer it to be public, and she said really the message from my guides was to slow down, to look after my heart, and to take good care of myself. And so this is me. This is me. Uh, I won't be recording this for an hour. I don't think we'll hit 30 minutes. Um, and I've got plenty of time today. And same with the coming days. Like, just I've massively reduced my number of client sessions. But I think what really hit home for me as well with Sarah's message was, don't just fill that extra time with like creating more videos and more content and kind of being a busy bee. And it was quite funny because just as I was setting up my camera on my tripod out here, there was a bee, a big busy bumblebee flying around, and it was beautiful, and it reminded me of that busyness, bzz, 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 always a busy bee, and yet it's so important to take time to rest and receive. I think bumblebees do that too, right? To rest and receive in the sunshine. And another big thing, and this is maybe the most significant change in me through April, was I had a really wonderful reading from the amazing um, Chloe Rose, and Chloe gave me a past life quantum psychic healing session, or as she calls them, a soul expansion one-to-one session. And because it is different to what I offer, but it's grounded in the same principles, but she also integrates it with tarot and some breath work and somatic movement as well, which is just lovely to receive. And in that session, we went to a past life, and this was like a repeating pattern that I've taken on, like similar missions to what I'm doing here on Earth, um, but that you could describe it as failing, and that I had never forgiven myself fully for that experience. In fact, it was part of me, part of that like incarnation of me that was left trapped there, almost like a ghost. And so by going back there, I was able to cry a lot and really feel that emotion, deep within my soul, both for John and for this previous incarnation of me. And I also realized, that this was all part of a plan. It's all part of the sequence of events that lead up to where we are now, like a preparation. And it's quite funny because I said in the session I never really considered failure. I never considered failure of my mission, not consciously. And perhaps that's something also to consciously address, never to deny failure, as it were, but at least, not achieving a mission or a goal in the way that you would expect, and being open to, to learning things, to experiencing things that are far more powerful than the goal that you had envisaged and intended. But in short, there's two big transformations that had happened for me since Chloe's session. One is I've not eaten um, any snacks since, and it is coming up on, is it 2 weeks ago? It could be 2 weeks ago. Um, and what I was doing with snacking, like many of us, was like into my solar plexus. I was trying to, like, it's like fill, food is like helping stop that kind of leaky bucket, like that feeling of, oh, I'm not enough. Um, and I would catch myself quite often, I'd be eating like, what I had done is gradually shifted my snacks to being more healthy, um, but still not amazing for me. Like, I'd eat binge on lots of peanuts. um, I said peanuts. And I also would eat like very plain, like tortilla um, chips, crisps, as we call them in the UK. And I just felt I was always like filling myself with stuff at the end of the day, almost to like um, fill myself with self love. And the other experience that's been very, arguably even more profound, is that there's this feeling that I have during the day now where, instead of being in worry and doubt about where and when my next client order will come from, there's this feeling in my stomach, there's this feeling just below my heart and in my heart itself about abundance, and this knowingness, this feeling that my client bookings just keep coming, and it's true, they do keep coming. I'm fully booked until August 26th now, I think, um, and so being here on, is it the 23rd of April, is according to my watch, it is really, a true blessing. and and yet, even though I'd secured these bookings previously for months on end, I've been anything between 4 and 5 months um, fully booked, which is just a wonderful feeling, and I'm so grateful for it. Is that I would still find myself, until that session with Chloe, feeling in lack, feeling like, oh, but how am I going to earn money in addition to the bookings that I've received? And yet, that's never, from my purpose, my mission, I never said that's what I wanted. And so this was clearly an area to be healed. And I think you can tell, some of the warning signs of when you're needing healing is because you're distracted by this thing, you're rabbit holing, you're burning energy and spending lots of time doing something that just doesn't serve your highest good, and in my case would burn me out properly, right? Like, just creating far too much. um, and I know I create a lot of content and it's a lot to keep up with, and definitely, now finding a balance of I think today alone, what have I created? My highest John video, so that's one. My song, I did a walking video, that's three. So walking patch video, and those I just love. In many respects, they're like my non-negotiables. I don't need to do the first two. I really love doing, and I love doing them every day. But if I have to choose one, I do the highest John video. Um, Tomorrow I won't have time for a song. I'll be driving up into Edinburgh to drop off my van at a garage, my camper van. Um, and so, I'll just flex that as I need it, as I need to. Um, and then I also recorded a podcast, so that's four. And there's this, five. Wow. Okay. Highest John, song, patch walking video, podcast, and this. It's five videos. And I don't give a lot of consideration to when my audience, you guys, consume what I create, other than that it will, for simplicity, I just share it as I create it. Sometimes I might schedule the odd thing. I think I'll be more mindful and conscious about perhaps staggering the podcast a little bit, at least so there's no more than one a day or something. Videos like this I'll likely be posting today along with the other videos. And it's so easy for me to just record and then hit the upload button, and then that's it. and you've got the content. So yeah, very much a feeling of like, how does my heart feel? I feel more liberated. I feel like I've got more of a work-life balance. I feel like I'm more stepping into the whole of me, that I'm creating more space in my day-to-day schedule. And also a big thing that's coming up is my trip down to the very south of England. So Devon is an area I'm heading down to, and on the way, Shropshire and Oxfordshire, and then traveling back, there may be a couple of places that I stop by as well, because I'll be quite close to Glastonbury, Stonehenge. What a cool part of the world! I can see why I have wonderful customers, clients in those areas. So yeah, looking forward to that big adventure that Patch and I will be going on. We start on Sunday, so it's just a few days' time. I need to get my camper van fixed first, and if it gets fixed, I'll be heading off. And anything else to share? Yeah, just if you're watching this and my journey resonates with you, and you're wondering about whether you'll succeed at these big life changes that you feel are coming up in your life, know that you probably will, if you listen to your heart and if you face your fears. A big fear for me financially was leaving my corporate job. I think that's one thing I haven't touched on financially for April. I think it's been, it feels like quite good. I don't look at the numbers now. It's another big change. I don't look at the daily numbers that I receive. It feels like I don't know what could be an average month. And also going into next month, I will be, so I think it's already set up in the my accountant's systems, but also my company called Heart Centered Wellness Limited, through which I practice through. I'm going to start paying myself a salary, like a regular salary, and then anything on top of that as well. And that'll mean that instead of having to just put money into a pension or whatever savings, instead it'll be focused on just living sustainably, and that feels really exciting. It feels very abundant, and I'm very grateful. And also I've seen those changes in my family as well. Like, they seem a lot more comfortable with what I'm doing. It seems definitely productive and rewarding. So yeah, I just want to, their only ask is that I balance the work a bit more. So that's definitely something I'll be doing more. There's, like, let's see what Patch is doing. Did you see him for a minute? There he is. Patch is definitely happier. Can we zoom in on it? Let's try. As he wafts in the wind with his hair. It's so cute. Ah! Okay, so yeah, thank you so much for your love and support. Please feel free to check out my website, johnbinnie.com. You can also try out my free meditations, the Spirit Guide meditations. They're available on my homepage. And yeah, if you have any requests for either services or topics for my videos, please let me know. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you in May, which will be my 12-month anniversary of leaving my corporate job and starting my business. So that will be amazing. It already is amazing, but it'll just be such a lovely milestone to both achieve and reflect on. So thank you so much. Take care. Sending my love from Scotland.